Oh, hello.
Oh, hi. Oh, no, I forgot. Lana, I forgot. Oh, no. Hold on, I got it. Don't worry.
Oh.
I got it. Just a little casual vibe in the background. It's fine. Oh, boy, G. Howdy. Welcome back to The Cup, the currently unnamed podcast, where we put the tea in reality, and you can always come to us first to quench your thirst. I'm Logan Murphy, a Say Something Gay. Gay, here just with water, because hydration is important.
And I am Lana, your resident diva, here to give the tea, spill the tea, and I love me some tea. And I'm here with tea.
Is it really?
It's really tea.
I love it.
It's tea.
Now, what kind of tea are we drinking, Lana?
I live in the South, baby. It's only one kind of tea for me, baby.
I figured.
Sweet tea.
I figured. We're just making sure, but I figured. I had a Dr. Pepper from Raising Cane's, but I drank all of that. So, that happened. But
Milo sweet tea, extra sweet tea, actually.
Good. As it should be.
Mm-hmm.
I can make mine homemade.
Me too.
But it's just never as good.
I'm going to tell you who does it, and I'm going to put this out there. My sister Courtney makes the best sweet tea.
Okay.
And anytime we get together, it's like, Courtney, you bring the tea, because it's always just so good. It's perfect every time. So
now I don't mean to have a discussion on sweet tea on the podcast. However, I must know if you think this is sacrilege, because I put lemon slices in my sweet tea.
Some people do that. Some people do that while it's brewing. Okay. See, some people put it in there while it's brewing. Some people like to put it in there afterwards, squeeze it in there and stick it in there. I don't like the lemon in my tea. I'm not a person who puts the lemons in their tea.
Sure.
When I go to restaurants, I prefer them not put it even on my glass. Like, don't put it in there. No lemon for me.
See, now when we go out, I'm gonna take your lemon then, because I want all the lemon.
Yeah, I'll tell them put the lemon on the side, like get a side of lemons, and you can have all the lemon.
Yeah, because even unsweetened tea, on the moments where I drink that, I like it personally. I love tea in all capacities.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet tea is obviously great, but I do love a good, strong, unsweetened black tea moment with just a lot of lemon. And to be honest, it's just a vehicle for lemon, and that I'm a fan of that. But
okay, so question: since you want this lemon thing, not to turn our podcast into
this is now a tea podcast. We should do an episode on teas. Honestly, I think I would love it. Anyway, your question.
But are you one of those people who go to a restaurant and orders water, but asks for a bunch of lemons to squeeze into their water to make lemonade and add make their own lemonade at the water so they can be free?
I don't make my own lemonade, but I do get lemon for my water.
Lemon water.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I am a lemon water fan. I typically, if I have both, my giant water bottle, it's not currently this way, but usually it's cucumber lemon water.
Mm-hmm.
I'll leave the cucumber and I'll leave half a lemon in my water bottle for a day, and then just keep refilling it, and it turns out great. But no, I do know people that make their own lemonade with the sugar packets and the lemon. I know those people.
I don't like those people.
I don't either.
As a former server, I don't like those
Same!
I don't. But, to each his own, I guess.
Anyway, 5 minutes in, let's talk about why we're here today. Because
the Amazing Race.
Lana.
Yes.
Mega Leg! I don't know what my pure fascination is with the term Mega Leg. And I think they've used it before on previous seasons of The Amazing Race.
Probably.
But it's Lewis. Lewis is the one that, Mega Leg. And it's
2 roadblocks, 2 detours, Mega Leg.
Double the excitement. Mega Leg. They need, okay, CBS, I'm talking directly to you. If you are not CBS, keep scrolling. No, CBS, y'all need to hire us to be the hype people for the Mega Leg next season, because I know y'all are going to keep doing it. Because it's real easy and it's 2 episodes extra.
And it's good. You should.
First of all, do it again.
Do it.
Second of all, do it twice in a season like this one. Because 3, hire us to promote it. Thank you.
Mega Leg.
Okay, thank you. Bye. Thanks. But yes, Mega Leg is here. I love this episode for several reasons. First and foremost, we are traveling from Spain.
No.
Or we are traveling to Spain from France. So we are going to Malaga, which, I mean, hello. Gorgeous scenery, beautiful ocean, beaches, people. Beautiful.
Everything beautiful.
So we are departing in 2 groups, as we are now at the top 5. We did lose Quentin and Maddie in the last week. Mm-hmm. You were not here for that, but we did lose them.
I saw it. I watched.
Yeah. Any thoughts?
I mean, typical. I knew it was happening. It was just the way. This is the one thing about The Amazing Race that I just find very interesting. Or, I guess if there was a meh moment for Amazing Race for me, it's the predictability of knowing who's probably going to go next, the way they're gone, the way, like, we don't get a whole lot of surprises and comebacks. Usually it's the same old thing. We get a few people who's, the spot swap, and not this season, not a lot this season. No. So I saw it coming. I hate to see it because I did like Quentin and Maddie, but I like everybody. So it's kind of hard to root against anybody because I like this group.
Yeah. I mean, we do see those people that like constantly survive no matter what. I think of the blondes a couple seasons ago. Mm-hmm. That's where my mind immediately goes. But but yeah, so we are in Malaga. We are departing in 2 groups. We've got Derek and Claire and Lewis and Michelle in the first group, and then everybody else.
Everybody else, right?
Yep.
We're at 5. Can you believe we're already at 5 teams?
It's episode 9.
Crazy.
This season, in a way that I'm gonna just say it, in the way that Survivor 43 has not, it's been very stagnant. Mm-hmm. It's been very predictable. This has been drama, intrigue, some predictability, entertainment, Mega Leg. And the Mega Leg of it all was Emily's knee.
Yeah. Emily's knee was the Mega Leg of it.
We kind of just got to talk about it. So Emily is still struggling. She cannot get down the. Now, here is my question. Are we these people to having to go down this very tall tower and presumably go up this very tall tower situation, whatever that they were in? I'm like, why? A, why are we making them do that? B, why are we making them do that when you know someone has an injury and this is only going to exacerbate their injury? That's suspicious.
Weird.
And that's weird. I was gonna say, I'm gonna pop in for Lana if she's not, but
I was gonna say it, but I was waiting. I wanted to dramatic pause.
I love it. But yeah, so I am just a little frustrated by Emily having to walk down this whole situation. Like, I don't understand why we're making her do this. But anyway, teams are then making their way to the Plaza de la Merced, which is kind of nearby. Not really. They got to navigate the streets. And we get to the roadblock, which now, if y'all have been watching for a while, then you already know I am an art history student. So anytime there is a period, any of these shows just makes me happy. However, I will say, I am not a fan of Pablo Picasso, personally. He does not do it for me. So this was like, okay, cool, art. Yes, I understand. This is where he's from. So sure. Wonderful. So for this roadblock, who will be the master of pieces? You have to put together a giant frame puzzle to replicate, I believe the piece is called The Three Musicians. I looked it up and then forgot it, but it's the three musicians.
It is definitely The Three Musicians.
Yeah. I don't know Picasso pieces, so couldn't tell you. But it's equal parts puzzle and visual situation, but then also you have to pick up the large and which also is not the most fun. So we have Aubrey, Claire, Emily, Michelle, and Marcus completing this task. And again, we see Emily and Molly are talking, and they're like, well, Molly has done a lot of roadblocks. I think it was 5-3 at this point. Very strategic about what Emily is doing as to not for. So Emily decides to do this one, and she, all things considered, I thought she did a pretty good job. Like, all things considered, I thought she did a great job.
I agree.
Yeah. I thought, she did a decent job. She got the puzzle, and I think she was actually the right person to do this challenge because she is very puzzle-oriented.
Yes.
And I love that they had their little painter's assistants, whatever. I thought that was cute, too. But we see a couple people struggling. We see Michelle. Michelle is struggling. Marcus is struggling. And for the first time this race, we are seeing the brothers' Achilles heel. It is Pablo Picasso puzzles.
It's Marcus. Because Marcus, this is not the first.
I think it is.
Marcus is the problem because he was struggling on that last one with the football. He was with the soccer. He couldn't kick the thing. Rugby. He couldn't kick the ball through the goal.
Yeah.
He was struggling. Marcus is a problem. And literally he only had, but the thing is, he wasn't that bad. He only had one thing wrong for the most part. He had it right pretty much if he would have changed one panel the entire time. Like change the back panel and turn it upside, like flip it the right way. Oh my God.
Yes. So puzzle challenges, puzzles plus plexiglass and knee injuries in some cases. And I do agree with you. I think Marcus is kind of the
problem.
Yeah.
But see, this is the thing. I was just like, wow, he really only had one piece wrong. He was good at the puzzle. He just didn't realize where his one mistake was with the puzzle. Because for the longest time, it was the back panel. And all it needed to do was come out and be turned around, and he would have had it right. He just didn't see it. So I'll take that back. I don't think he's the problem. I just think he just doesn't look at the big picture.
Yes, I agree.
And he's not very good with detail. He's not detail oriented.
Yes.
So
I agree with that completely. So we see now. It's so funny. So I watched these episodes with my roommate, and The moment that he saw that Claire was doing the roadblock, he was like,
Mhm.
oh no. And I'm like, what do you mean? This is a Claire roadblock. Like,
Clearly.
clearly, perhaps. And I mean, they make it out first.
They do.
They make it out first.
They do. They get out first, and then they're done. Then, shockingly, to me, Aubrey does the roadblock, and she gets out second.
Slays.
Amazing.
Slays this roadblock.
And then Michelle gets out third. Molly and Emily gets out fourth, and Marcus and Michael finally gets it done at last place. And they're out. They have to take bikes to this cube, which I thought was such a beautiful cube.
Cubo.
That was such a beautiful structure. The colors, it was actual cube. I thought it was just a beautiful.
I love those moments where art meets architecture,
mm-hmm.
and that's very common in European cities. And like, I could go on for hours, but we've already spent 5 minutes talking about tea this episode. So
that's true. But yeah, it was beautiful. Also, what I did love, because we really get to see a lot of Spain and of the city, and it was so beautiful. The beaches are beautiful, and the city is beautiful. And so they take this bike ride all the way down to the next part, and so we get to see a lot of the scenery, and it was so beautiful to watch. I love this. This is another reason why I love Amazing Race, because all these beautiful places that I probably would never get to visit
at Riot,
I get to watch, and it's so beautiful. And so I love seeing some of them were trying to take a moment to take in the scenery, look at the scenery as they go, but their partner was like, come on,
what are you doing? Now here's my question. Miss Emily and Miss Molly, how the hell did y'all ride right past
that big old cube?
Right past the giant cube.
Talking about where is it? Did we pass it?
And then I love when they turn around and it's like very clearly in view on their left, and they're like, duh. Like, it's those little mistakes on The Amazing Race that I love to watch happen. Because, like, let's be real, I'd probably make the same sort of mistake at some point. Like, I would do that. So,
another moment that I found interesting, Derek on these bikes, literally having a panic attack about riding the bike because of a trauma that he's faced before, and he crashed his bike. And so he don't even want to pedal the dang bike. He just like...
Now, okay, I relate to this so hard because I have bike-related trauma for the exact same reason that Derek does.
You crashed your bike?
I crashed my bike when I was 7.
Oh, wow.
And I have never ridden a bike since.
Wow.
I probably could, and I probably should, given the fact that I live so close to my university campus.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I fully related. Like, and I also have that very similarly with like driving. Because to save a sob story, got into an accident, nothing happened, but I had such bad PTSD the next time I tried to drive that I surrendered my license. So like, I understand exactly where his trauma was coming from because I have that as well. So I was like, yes, I get it fully. I understand.
I get it. And Claire's like, could you not stop in front of me? I'm trying to ride. And I was like, that was funny. I don't know. Those moments were funny to me. He was just like, I'm having trauma. She's like, could you keep moving? Stop.
Literally.
They got to where they need to go. And so then we move on to the roadblock or the detour. The detour, which is fish fry or sale supply.
So, yeah.
I remember. And so the fish fry is you had to take these sardines or these little fish And
sardines, I think.
They were sardines, okay. And you had to put them on skewers, and then you had to put them over the flame, and they had to cook, whatever. Cook these fish.
But
and
you had to do it a very specific
way, and it had to be presented specifically the right way to the fishermen.
Yeah.
On sale supply, you had to go and get these supplies, a bucket of ice and 8 life jackets, and you had to take these to get on a paddle boat that you had to inflate yourself, put out in the water, and paddle boat your way to this sailboat out in the middle of the ocean and deliver these supplies. Yeah.
We all know what the correct option was.
Fish fry. 100%. Because I'm not getting out there.
First of all, sale supply felt so much more difficult from at least just my perspective. B, I'm not trusting the motion of the ocean.
On an inflatable paddle boat?
With a giant cooler of water?
And ice?
In the middle of Spain? Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
No. Now, I loved this challenge because I'm really loving Aubrey and David. Because David is like, oh yeah, I grew up around this. Like, this is no problem for me. And Aubrey's like, oh my God, fish!
But wait, you started the whole thing off like, I'm going to have to tap into my Filipino roots because we did deal with my grandmother loved sardines and she used to cook it all the time. So I'm going to pull into my Filipino roots and do this. And then the moment she get over there, ew, fish, gross. I was like, what happened to your roots, girl?
Right. It's like, okay, go off. I love to. Claire is just getting frustrated with the fish. She's like, why isn't the fish staying on the sword or whatever they had to
skewers?
The little skewer that they had to use.
Claire was very much over the fish. She was like, I'm just go salt them and put them on there. That's my job. I don't want to touch the fish. I'm vegan. I don't.
But they did like 7 of these skewers. And I think you only had to do 3?
You had to do 3, but everybody was under the impression like we should do extra just in case some of them don't work. And I'm like, okay, I get it. Everybody was so concerned about all of them coming off the skewer together. And I'm like, they only asked for like 6. So even if you do extra and 4 of them come off the skewer right, just take 2 more off another skewer and put it on the plate. Like, they ain't say they all had to come off the same skewer. They just had to be cooked right and put on the plate. But everybody was like, Molly and Emily especially are very much perfectionists and were doing so many fish. Like, they wasted so much fish. I felt like that's somebody's dinner. And I have a thing with wasting food. I tell every org that I play in, like, I don't want to do a challenge where I have to waste food. And one game they wanted us to put 2 eggs on a spoon and hold it up. That was the endurance challenge, and we had to hold it up. And I was just like, and you remember this, Dave, because that was doing high rise, and I had to go do this endurance challenge during the high rise. And I was like, number 1, I'm not gonna last on because I'm hosting the game, and I just don't have time for this. But number 2, I don't like wasting food. So what I did was I put a towel on the floor, and I put a pillow on the floor, and I stood over this thing for as long as I could. And I was like, okay, this is in between things. I got my folks hosting and taking over for me while I got it, but I'm giving this challenge 10 minutes tops. That's all I got because I got to get back to my game. And I waited, I held it up, put it up. And when I felt like I was going to fall or drop those eggs, I was like, okay, I'm out. And I just took them off. And I was like, I will not waste these 2 eggs because folks have to eat those eggs. We can use those for a lot of different things, and I would not waste.
I would like to make an omelet out of those eggs.
Period. I don't like to waste food, and I don't like to waste toilet paper, people. That is my thing.
And I don't like my time wasted.
Period. But yeah, anyway, that's my rant.
Fish.
Anyway, fish.
It's interesting because yes, of course, as we talked about, we're in the mega leg, but they leave us at such a cliffhanger. Like,
this was the worst. Like the last Mega Leg, we at least got to everybody coming to the pit stop and seeing who's coming in what order. Not this Mega Leg. This Mega Leg, they were like, here's the detour. Claire and DX left. Lewis and Michelle left. David and Aubrey left. Mm-hmm. So Marcus and Michael are standing there, and Emily and Molly are there, and that's where they cut it off. Literally cut it off right there.
It's such a gag that potentially we're losing one of those two teams next week.
Like what? And this is the thing. Like, this is how everybody likes everybody. This is how much everybody likes everybody. And we can see DX helped David and Aubrey so much because they forgot to salt the fish. If they would have put that back up there and didn't tell them, they would have still been their word. Like, what did they do wrong? Because they didn't salt the fish. It would have been wrong. Marcus and Michael hated the fact that their competition is Michelle and Emily and Molly. Like, they were like, I hate to say this, but if at the end it's a foot race.
We all know who's losing.
We all know who's gonna win. He said, but I hate it because I love them and I like them as a team, but I love the camaraderie with everybody, and nobody's like, I just don't. Like I said, there's nobody in the season that we just didn't like we just hated them. So and you can see that and feel that within the cast, they all do like each other, and it's nice to see that. I like seeing that.
I agree.
But this Mega Leg, they just cut it off so abruptly, and I was like, I wasn't ready for that. I thought we was going
Mega Leg, more like Mega Cutoff.
I thought we would at least go see where how they get to the first part of but I guess the leg just continued, so no, not at all.
No. So that's that. I mean,
wow.
we went longer than we did last week. I think last week's video was like 23 minutes.
Wow. Well, we had technical difficulties too, so
we sure did. So it'll probably be around that.
Anyway, it's okay. It's the Mega Leg. We're going to continue the Mega Leg next week. I didn't even watch the scenes because I didn't want to know.
Either.
I was like, I don't want to know. I don't want to know. I'd rather y'all didn't cut me off here. I'll wait and see the next part. So I didn't watch the scenes. So I don't know what happened. We don't watch the scenes in this one because I like this Mega Leg to just continue for me, just like it did for them in the race. So, but we'll be back next week to continue to talk about the Mega Leg. And follow us on Twitter at @thecup_reality, and you'll find out you'll get notifications on when we're going to put out all these videos, or when we're ever going to go live, which we might. Stay tuned. And
we might go live eventually again. Who knows?
Who knows? But when we do, you'll know. And if you just feel like following me and Logan, you can do that.
While Twitter still exists.
While this still exists until Elon Musk decides to just pull the plug on it. I don't know. Or everybody leaves. Whatever. That's more likely everybody leaves. But, at some point we'll get on Instagram and then you can follow us over there.
Sure. Yeah.
That's what happens. If you ever want to be on the cup, if you feel like you have some opinions on the show or you want to talk about the show, hit us up on DM, DM us and let us know that you want to talk and tell us what you want to talk about, and we'll have you right here. So that's that. Logan, I finished all of my drink. That means it's time to go.